domain surrounding the plan to award the multi-billion-dollar project to carry out the Montego Bay bypass work to China Harbour Engineering Company is part of what's on my mind this morning. And the discussion in the public domain centers on the administration's move to use a section of the Public Procurement Act which allows it to make a direct contract award and declare the project a national development initiative. The opposition People's National Party has objected to the move. The opposition leader, Mark Golding, has argued in the parliament that the opposition supports the project. However, he says it should go to tender to ensure transparency. Mr. Golding has said he's also concerned about whether the opposite procedure is being used to award the contract to China Harbour. And the opposition, via some of its senators, have said that they recognize the importance of the project. But for example, Lambert Brown has said that despite the PNP administration passing the law which allows for some major work to bypass the tender process, the current move to include the multi-billion-dollar initiative in Montego Bay as a national development project, and the process being used, he says, is not appropriate. I think the public will ultimately judge whether that sort of stance by Senator Brown and the opposition is one marinated in partisan convenience, or whether it is genuine fidelity to a principled position. The Prime Minister told the Parliament last week a few things. That China Harbour has already done significant work in designing the project. Prime Minister Holness noted that the project has areas which are complex, including the building of a long bridge and other significant geotechnical work, which China Harbour is renowned for having such expertise. The PM also noted that to engage the tender process at this current stage would add at least a year, likely more, to the time span for the project to get off the ground, and that the long talked about Montego Bay bypass initiative, the Prime Minister noted, is intended to address the increasing and dire congestion in Montego Bay, which is an urgent situation. The Prime Minister also underscored that the direct process of engaging China Harbour has been used before to develop highways in Jamaica, which had significant geotechnical work as well. Well, the Master Builders Association has objected to the direct award of the contract to China Harbour. But quite frankly, I scoff at that position because many of our local contractors do not have a good track record at executing minor initiatives, much less one of this nature. Look at Junction in St. Mary, for example, up to now cannot be completed. And when you speak to some members of the Master Builders Association regarding this Montego Bay perimeter project, they say, boy, boss, we perhaps not capable, but it would be good if they get some of the contracting work, the subcontracting work. So I think the leadership of the Master Builders Association should have a look into itself. And all in all, when the key issues are considered, including process, track record, and the need for the work to be done quickly and within budget, my view this morning is full speed ahead with the initiative and may China Harbour get to work as soon as possible and bring some assistance to many people who have to traverse Western Jamaica and want to be productive but can't be because they are stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Another important element of this debate, though, is whether value for money will be had and there'll be probity in the negotiating process. It's a question which the opposition put to the Prime Minister last week, and the Prime Minister said yes, the Integrity Commission will be invited to be part of the process in a bid to ensure probity is maintained and that the Jamaican people gets value for money.
An important question was asked, will the Integrity Commission be invited to serve? You know, Madam Speaker, I recall sitting in this house, I was on that side at the time, on the opposition side, and there was a big debate undertaken about whether or not the Contractor General should be involved in pre-contractual negotiations. You remember that, leader of the opposition? So to come today and ask that question as to whether or not the Integrity Commission will be brought in before we enter a contract phase. We went, that side, when they were the government, went to court to prevent the Contractor General from being involved in the pre-contracting phases. I mean, it's as if we have short memories. But, Madam Speaker, yes, we have no objections to that. And the team that we are putting forward will be a multi-sectoral, fairly broad-based team that can sit opposite the China Harbour people and bring levity, understanding, and reason to prices. So I'm expecting, Madam Speaker, that prices will be moderated and approximate competitive prices. No, Madam Speaker. So we are embracing transparency as a means of ensuring value for money.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness addressing the Parliament last week, and note subsequent to that parliamentary session where the Prime Minister gave that commitment regarding the Integrity Commission's involvement, that Trevor Monroe's National Integrity Action issued an elaborate statement and made a call for the Integrity Commission to be involved in the process. A bit of a redundant call, it would appear to me, given what the Prime Minister had committed to. But, you know, I've said it here before, and I will say it again. I think the NIA's Executive Director, Trevor Monroe, has a credibility problem, because to my mind, he's not consistent. I recall when the issue of Norman Horn accepting an appointment to the Senate came up, despite Horn being a dual citizen, and knowing that the Jamaican law forbids people with that status being so appointed. There was not a word from Trevor Monroe or the National Integrity Action. I've also heard Dr. Monroe being vocal about the Hard Trust and so many matters. But over the years, beyond a comment here or there, I find it that quite bizarre that Monroe and the NIA have not led a sustained campaign regarding, for example, the Trafigura corruption scandal, and that it be treated appropriately, a matter which has at its core public figures appearing to want to avoid what is a transparent process. A recent judgment came from the Privy Council, essentially ordering the PNP members to testify. Even Mark Golding was moved to issue a statement, but no formal statement from Trevor or the NIA. And you know, listeners, I recall in 2007, I was visiting some folks on Tavern Drive in St. Andrew. That's between Papine and Kintyre. And there was Trevor Monroe in his orange shirt, campaigning for himself and the PNP, the political party which literally a year before was mired in this Trafigura corruption scandal. But it cannot be that the political antecedents of its executive director has forbidden the NIA from acting in a consistent manner in its postulations. And when I say political antecedents, I have not even mentioned Grenada, which is a matter I've long believed Dr. Monroe should speak openly and transparently about if we are to take him seriously. So the long and short of it, my belief is that Dr. Monroe should take the weight of his political antecedents of the neck of the National Integrity Action. And part of the message this morning is that those of us who demand transparency must be fair, consistent, and be prepared to be transparent ourselves. That's what's on my mind this morning.